Welcome back to the rules of engagement. We're now on to the question and answer period, and I have to apologize over the last couple of days. Unfortunately, Twitter wasn't popping up all of them under the interactions tab, so I missed a few questions. Gonna try to catch up with some of them today, and of course, there's a couple that today I won't get to, but we'll get to those on tomorrow's Rules of Engagement episode. So keep asking questions. They will be answered. If not this episode, they'll be answered right in the next one. So tune in again for that one, or catch a VOD at youtube.com/official MLGSC2 to get caught up. Anyways, on to the Q&A. First question is going to be from David Melnick. Question is, what is your beginning approach when facing random opponents? So, I haven't played much Zerg lately, so I'll tell you my Terran and Protoss. Terran, either Command Center first or Gaseous 1 Barracks expansion, because those are great builds in every single matchup. Usually Command Center first. I'm a big fan of that opening. So, Command Center first, and then Barracks, and then my Scout would get that time, because I Scout around the same time I start that Command Center. So, by then I would know what's going on. I can follow up, whatever your favorite follow-up is. As Protoss, I just do a 1-gate expansion build. So I Scout after Gateway, and if I realize I'm playing Zerg, I'll pull some of my guys off gas, and just get enough gas to get a Stalker and a Warp Gate research started. And then that Stalker will go out, do some harass, use the minerals to build a Nexus, and then get back on the gas to get the Militia Core, follow up that way. So that's how I do it with Protoss and with Terran. Next question is going to be from Nightmare, and it's, how do you stop early Reaper harass push in a TVT? So this was a build in the beta people said was unbeatable. It's actually, if you're watching the 2v2 show matches or King of the Hills we had earlier, Derby was doing this in 2v2 pretty much every game. Very, very fast Reapers. They cut the economy massively, try to get Reapers out to do damage. So either you can build the hardest counter to it if you want an easy win. If they build an 8 barracks, you build a 12 barracks, and you go Reapers as well, you're going to win. It's that simple, because their Reapers will be about 25 seconds faster than yours, 20-25 seconds, but by the time they cross the map, you'll have the same Reaper count, and of course, you've had 5 more SCVs mining minerals, which means you get your orbital faster, you get your second, your third barracks faster, all of your extra stuff comes in faster, and you'll overwhelm them over the next few minutes. So that's the hard counter, if you're blind countering it. And let's say you open a gaseous expansion. That makes it much harder to defend. You've got to try to either set up a bunker or very quickly add in a lot more barracks, and make sure you do not lose your first Marine or your second Marine to Reaper. Even if it's 1 Reaper and you have 1 Marine, don't go head-to-head with them. Pull 2-3 SCVs. Always have the SCVs tank your Marines. You cannot afford to lose Marines early. You have to be able to build up to get 5, 6, 7 Marines, and you can start basically having enough damage output that the Reapers can't approach you. If you went for gas tech, it's the same principle. Don't lose your first Marine, don't lose the second Marine, always let SCVs buffer. Eventually you'll get a Helling or a Widow Mine up, and that'll end the harass. Most important thing, let SCVs take the damage, not your Marines. On to the next question is going to be from Brian Williams. Terran has so many new aggressive options. How can a Zerg player transition from Ultralist to Broodlord without dying to drop? So, that's actually, I covered a really good position on this when I did the analysis for Rules of Engagement on Ghost User versus Bomber, game number 3 on Newkirk City. So if you want to catch that VOD, go check it out. Because there's a Zerg situation when, if the Terran is staying bio-heavy and they're low-tech, as a Zerg player, you know in a straight-on fight, you'll be more cost-efficient if you have Infestors, Ultralists, Vipers, or Hive-Tech units, right? So what you need to do then is stay very defensive. Don't move out across the map. Stay very defensive, and just don't even worry about transitioning until you get very good stack defense set up. Get 4 or 5 Spine Cores every base, get a Spore Crawler, make sure that you're safe from harass, and then you can move out and start transitions. But you know that if they're low tech, they're staying bio-heavy, you're not in any rush to transition. You're not in any rush to do damage. Make sure your defense is set up first. If they're trying to go straight to Sky Terran and throwing away drops to keep you busy, right, their production won't be that great. What you do is you send your Ultralists to kill their planetaries, and you defend with just Speedlings in the meantime. You don't want to wait to get stack defenses in the transition. Send your attack with Ultralists, defend with Speedlings, and you know that they can't actually have that much bio because they're busy transitioning Sky Terran. Next question, last question of the day is going to be from Chris Campbell. And it's, how does Zerg deal with mass Void Rays? He meant to say mass there. Because that's something that a lot of Zergs have been complaining about. Mass Sky Toss. So there's a couple different ways to do this. One of the best ways, or one of the ways you see Zergs try a lot of times is try mass Corruptors. They all die to Void Rays, doesn't work. Then you see him try mass Hydrolists. They all die to Silestorm or Colossi, doesn't really work. that leaves you, what else do you have as Zerg Canada there? You have Queens, you have Infestors. I wouldn't, Mutalisks aren't that great against Void Rays in late game either. And what everyone forgets, you have Spore Crawlers. Well, Void Rays are pretty decent against Spore Crawlers. Spore Crawlers are extremely cheap, they have a lot of life, and their damage output is actually quite high as well. So, first step, use a ton of Spore Crawlers. Always move them with your army, and keep the engagements by the Spore Crawlers. Second step, always have a few Infestors with your army. Spore Crawlers aren't quite as mobile, so Fungal can help you lock down the Void Rays to make sure you can get the engagements. And third step is use a lot of Queens. Queens, Spore Crawlers, Infestors, your 3 favorite units. Your next 3 favorite units, Vipers can help out, a few Vipers. Go light on Vipers and Infestors, right? Light on those. Heavy Queens, heavy Spore Crawlers, and also heavy Swarm Hosts. Void Rays are only as strong as a Templar support, so you use Swarm Hosts to keep killing off the Templar, keep killing their Photon Cannons, their Nexuses, so they have to rebuild those, and you're going to be in good shape. Avoid Corruptors, avoid Hydralisks, those aren't so good in the late game. So that wraps up the Q&A section. Thank you guys for watching Rules of Engagement. Tomorrow, we return to Winter Exhibition, Round of 8, with Bly versus 5, followed by another episode of Rules of Engagement. Thanks for watching, I'll see you guys tomorrow.